All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Hey, this will be tape 87 of a special video. We're going to show you how to lay out your sign using the Cricut and a pre-finished board. Stick around. Me and Mr. Vinyl, Bob Stratford, will be right back. Sandy, you ready?
Ready.
All right, what we've done off camera, we've taken a piece of board, this is a piece of cedar, and we have sanded it down to our finished grit of 220. All the edges, the sides, everything has been pre-sanded to our finished grit. So we've all been down to 220. The better your finish on your board, the better this process is going to be. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create this star in the stencil, and everything black that you're seeing is the stencil, and we're going to do some weeding out and attach it to the board, and then we'll do our carving with that stencil attached to the board. It's going to make a whole lot more sense when we do this, so stick around and we'll show you how we're going to do it. We're not going to film creating the actual stencil because there's tons of stencil videos out there. So when we come back, we'll be applying this one to the board. Be right back.
Okay, so basically what we've got a 5.5 piece of wood. We've got our logo. This is going to act as our mask also. It's also 5.5 by 8 inches. We prepped this, like Frank said, to a 220 finish. So basically this piece of wood is done once we get done routing. So what we'll do, we'll apply it real quick. We'll use that as our hinge. Line it up.
A little bit off there, about right there.
There we go.
All right. Work it in bit by bit. Now that you've got it all down, you squeegee down real hard, make sure it adheres real well to the board. You need this as smooth as you can on your finish of your board to make sure that the stencil adheres to it exceptionally tight, which is what we're looking for. So now we're going to remove the transfer tape.
Always pull at a 45.
And try to keep it flat down on the board so it doesn't pull up the little stars. And that's it.
Now let's do this.
We're going to squeegee it some more. You can never squeegee it enough to make sure it's good and adhered.
And by using your paper, this is slick. It allows you to be able to squeegee on there without damaging or marring your stencil.
Okay. So what we'll be doing is we'll be carving the wood. Everything blue is going to be left. We'll carve away this portion here, paint it, and then when we remove the decal of the stencil, we're going to have a perfect star. So hang on, we're fixing to move out to the shop and start cutting some sawdust. We'll be right back. All right, welcome to the shop. We've got the stencil applied to the board. Like I said, we're going to carve away all the exposed wood. The blue pieces of stencil are going to stay on, and then we'll do our painting, and once we paint, we'll remove that stencil. Now, one thing we didn't tell you when we were doing this before, in prepping the board, we didn't do it on this one because this was a last spur of the moment decision to make this video. If you have a porous board, a soft board, fibrous board, you want to put some sanding sealer on it, let it dry for about 30 minutes or so, and then go ahead and apply your stencil. Now, Bob, do we do this, the sanding sealer, before or after we've sanded to our final grit?
Sand to your final grit, and then do the real thin coat of sanding sealer, and then go back with like a 320 and just barely, because moisture will raise the grain.
Mm-hmm.
So by using a 320, just lightly sand over that, make sure that your finish is completely smooth.
Okay.
And
All
it
right.
don't take very much.
Very good. All right. And this is what I call a bonus video. You don't have to look at either one of our ugly mugs, especially me. Bob's all right. I'm the ugly mug. All right. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to carve it. So what we're going to do is we're going to carve up to, let me flip this around for y'all. The points, we're going to carve up this line to where the bit starts touching both sides, this side and this side of the point. We're not going to come all the way up right to the point. We're going to do that a little bit differently, because when you paint it, the paint is going to give you the sharp point. So you don't actually, I'll spit the words out in a minute, actually have to bring the router bit all the way up in the corner. Now you can bring it up and raise the router tip up to bring it to a fine point if you want, but we're going to do both ways and we'll show you. So we'll do 3 of them, bringing them up and just letting them meet the 2 sides, and then the bottom 2 will I'll bring the router bit out. So we're going to be right back. All right, here we go. Again, we're using the carving liner, and we're just going to trace the inside and the outside. So here we go. All right, what we did, these 3 points I did just bringing the router bit right up to where the bit was touching both sides of the star point, but I didn't bring it up to the point. These 2 right here, I'm going to start with the bit raised and drop in as I come in on those, and I'll do these 2 points, bringing the bit to a sharp point. So here we go. All right, like I said, these 2 right here, I raised the router bit to give us the sharp point. These 3 right here, we're going to let the decal or the stencil give us that defining point. These are going to be outset, so we'll just go ahead and carve around those. When I come back, this is all going to be carved out, and we'll get on with the painting. So we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. What we've done is we've gone ahead and carved inset. We used the carving liner to go around the outline of all of the star, both the outset and the inset star. And then we used the 60 degree to do the background removal. Now what you have to be cognizant of when you have sharp pointed objects like these star points, make sure that your base is clean and that it is lubricated or with silicone or wax or whatever your chosen method is. Make sure your base side's good and smooth. I didn't do that to mine, and this piece on this point right here pulled up a little bit. We were able to salvage it, so we think it's going to work out fine. But be careful when you're, especially on the pointed portions of your projects, make sure that that's not pulling up. If you see it pulling up, stop, apply it back down, and get it back in place where it needs to go before you damage the stencil. So when we come back, we're going to go ahead and spray this, and we'll have sprayed it, and we'll see what we're looking at. So hang on, we'll be right back. All right, let's see what we got. We're going to start with the piece that's pulling up, and we'll just reveal the inner star. And again, all we're removing is the vinyl. Look at the sharpness of that. My mistake. All right, let's try this one. Now remember, these are the 2 that I brought the router bit up to make the point. These 3 up here, we didn't. We let it come to the point. I'm going to let the paint reveal it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, Bob, wow. Wow. That's a bauble of mine. And these right here were baubles of mine. Same down here at the bottom. The board fought me. Excuse me, the board fought me. But the way to combat that, excuse me, I'm sorry. The way to combat that is you stay off of the line of the stencil. Don't go right up to it. And that's a mistake that I made. I went right up to the line too close sometimes. But if you stay off of it, you get a nice square line from the stencil. Game changer. Wow. So, we'll be right back. All right, well, here we are. We're going to wrap this one up. Bob, Mr. Vinyl, has taken this to a new level for me. It's unbelievable. So, when you do one like that, when you do your carving, stay inside, away from the line. Leave just a little bit of the wood showing that you would think you need to remove. Leave a little bit of it, just a little, just a hairline of it. And you'll have perfectly crisp, sharp lines. It's going to massively improve your game. It is a game changer. I cannot thank Bob enough for it. And we've spent the day, and it's been a great day. We've had a lot of fun together. Sandy's hiding from us, but she's out here. We had a great day together. It's been a phenomenal day. So I want to thank you, Bob.
It's been a pleasure.
You have opened up my eyes. We talked about this in Colorado, but you've opened up my eyes doing this today. Seeing is believing.
It works.
It's amazing. So I want to thank y'all. They're going to be heading home. They've been on an extended family Christmas trip, and they're working their way back to Kansas City. So they swing by here to visit with me today, and I can't thank them enough for stopping by. So this is going to be a wrap, and hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you learned something from it. It's been an eye-opener for me. And so until my next project comes around, hug all your family and friends. Let them know you love them, and God bless. See you. All right. Let's see how that worked out.
Cool.